Okay, welcome back everyone. Today, excuse me, we are going to be playing a blue mono blue tempo deck, and in particular, this is I guess I just call it the Djinn deck because there's a bunch of Djinns in here, and that's kind of like the uh, basis of what the whole deck is built around. So right here, Haughty Djinn costs 3, does uh, 4 has a 4 toughness, but its power is equal to the number of instants and sorcery cards in our graveyard. And instant sorcery spells I cast cost 1 less. So, this is basically where the whole deck is built around the Djinn. We have 4 of them in our deck, and so we want to try to get as many instants and sorceries into our graveyard as possible, and preferably as soon as possible, because your Djinn just grows and grows and grows and grows. And there's 4 of them, so even 1 or 2 out on the board can be quite devastating to the opponent. Secondly, we have the Tolarian Terror. This is our other creature that can instill damage against our opponent, and these are the only 2 creatures within this deck. Um, so, in here, for every instant or sorcery in your graveyard, this spell costs 1 less, so it's 7 right now to cost, and it's a 5/5 power toughness. I've had uh, 6 sorceries and instances spells in my graveyard, and this has only cost me 1 mana to cast these for. That's actually quite common. And then it has the ward 2 on it, so if it's ever the target of a spell or an ability that an opponent controls, they have to pay an additional 2 for it to take effect against him. So let's take a little bit of a look at the rest of the deck. 22 basic lands. Consider, so we have this in here just so that we can dip back into our deck and replenish our hand. So uh, that's kind of a big thing for blue. You always have a lot of these counter spells, removal spells, sort of thing, but you need to keep those in um, rotation within your hand. So this is one of those cards here, and it allows you to draw a card. Fading Hope, this allows us to bounce a creature um, back to its owner's hand from the board, uh, if providing that its manual value was 3 or less. And it also allows you to see what's the next card is that's on your deck. So one, it's a cheap instant to get into your graveyard and help bump up your Haughty Djinn and reduce the cost of your Tolarian Terror. Uh, but also it can come in real handy when you're about to attack. They have blockers. You bounce this back to their hand and they're gone. So slip out the back. I'm not as crazy about this card, but it puts a +1/+1 counter on target creature and it phases it out. So if someone's going to, say, destroy your creature with a spell or sorcery, you can play slip out the back on top of that on the stack, and it phases out your creature. It acts as it doesn't exist, so the spell just kind of fizzles out. Curate, another way to get more cards into uh, or at least you get to see the cards, and then you also get to draw a card. Okay, this is our target spells. One creatures make disappear any spell, but if the opponent plays 2, then this does not take effect. Let's see, Essence Skater, yeah. So this allows us to get more cards into our hand, counter non-creature spells, look for more cards. So it's kind of getting a theme here. We're either looking for more cards, or we're bouncing creatures out of the board, or we're negating creature or spells. And this is another one. This is a very powerful one. For every island I control, I can um, draw a card for it. Then I have to discard 2. But say if you have 5 lands out on the board and you only have 1 card in your hand, and it's this one, your hand will be replenished with 5, although you have to get rid of 2. So essentially, that is the deck. Let's take the first spin here. We'll play probably about 3 games. While we're doing that, I'll go through my thoughts on like what I'm playing, why I'm playing, and let's see. On a blue tempo. I don't really want to play this on rank because it's not as powerful. I'm in the mythic rank right now, so the mono blue Djinn for there hasn't really done very well. However, on my rise up through the ranks to get to mythic, it was very effective. Okay, opponent goes first. 2 islands. Cost one, two, two. So this isn't really the greatest of decks. I don't really have much that I can do right off the bat other than bounce their creatures, but with this deck, we're not going out to try to do damage right off the bat. We're trying to counter everything that they do right off the bat, allow our creatures to grow, allow our instants and sorceries to build up in the graveyard, and then we thump them with the Haughty Djinn. So bring him out. I have one creature right now, one that's going to be able to look for cards to put in my hand, and a couple to one cancel their spells or sorceries. Okay, we're going to wait till it's with the blue deck. You have to think a little bit more than say like a burn deck. When do we want to bounce this? Do we want to bounce this now? Or we can wait until it's our turn and then see if we want to bounce it then. Okay, let's look in our hand, see what we have going. Okay, yeah, we could use another land, and we're going to draw a card. So there we go. So if we bounce him right now, that means on his next turn he can play this again. I would say let's bounce it now. I often want to bounce it once they're about to start attacking. So let's wait and do that. See if he attacks. So far, looks like they're playing mono green. Pass now. Now we'll bounce their creature. I don't think green doesn't normally have anything for countering spells. See, I only have one other card in there right now. Yeah, we'll keep that because we only have one other card in here right now that can search our hand for stuff. See, now he's just had to waste resources and time to bring that guy back out, so it's working in our favor. And we have 2 instances in our graveyard right now, which means our Djinn is going to be a 2/4 at the moment. Hopefully get one of those pretty soon, if not more. Okay, so he's in his second main phase. You can see that because of this right here. We've got your upkeep and draw, main phase, attack, second main, and end step. And those are the steps you go through throughout your hand and also your opponent's. Okay. Let's see, I suppose let's just keep it at this moment. Maybe we'll try to bounce their creature again and look at cards the next on their turn. So he's spending our mana on their turn instead of ours. Particularly if they bring out another creature, we could either bounce it or so it's a 4/4. They brought out, they used all their mana. So we're going to make that disappear. It's kind of fun. I always hate playing blue, or against blue, but I gotta say it's kind of fun. Playing blue. Okay, so we used up our mana last turn, so we have plenty of mana to use this turn. And let's go ahead and play him. Get a creature out there. And we'll call it this turn. So if they do bring out a creature, We don't really have an answer to like negate it or bounce it, but if we needed to, we can put a phase counter on it, which would basically mean it can't block, attack, do anything. It's basically not there. So I wish we had another creature spell, but hopefully get a bounce card or something next hand. Okay, flow of knowledge. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to lock the top 3 cards in my hand. I want this in my hand. We're getting enough mana. And I think, does he have flyer too? He's flying in Death Touch. Okay, we're going to leave it at this right now. We have, see, this would have been nice to have for that, because for this last turn when he played that creature, because we could have just negated it and it gone to the graveyard. Beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness. Yeah, we definitely don't want that out there. So, that was a card well spent. I bet he has a couple more of those because it doubles all of his. All right, doubles all of his power and toughness of creatures he has. So if we do 3, that's going to leave us 1 left. I don't really want to do that. Let's just hold here. Yes. Planeswalker, let's make him disappear. Yeah, I was thinking about using that make disappear on his Gala Greeter when it came out. Then I thought, well, it's only a 1/1. It does have a little bit of abilities to like give you 2 more life or create a, use a +1/+1 on a creature. But I'm glad I didn't because we were able to bounce his Planeswalker into the graveyard. So that's why, playing the blue, you got to think a little bit more than, say, like I said, with a burn deck. So what's his play? Let's see. What is he going to? He has 3 cards in his hand. His mana's all used up for on his turn. He's got a flying Death Touch. And if he dies, okay, he's not attacking it. Maybe he's thinking about building up his wall of creatures here. Let's spend 3. Discard a basic land. And then we can fade out one of his creatures, so that's cool. And we've got another card to get more, card to get more cards in our deck. And okay, let's continue with not attacking. I have mana and cards to bounce out or phase their creatures right now if they should start to attack. And I think that's maybe what he's been holding off on. Ugh, I don't like that. Yeah. That one we're gonna. It'd be nice to bounce that one back. Wish we had. I don't really have spells that are gonna like destroy creatures. It's not something that's really built into blue. It's more of a black thing. Uh, so we have 6. Let's look for a couple more cards here. Okay, did that wrong, but oops. Okay. So we have 4 left. Play this again. So we'll still have 1 discard a basic land. And we get another moment of truth. Okay. So let's finish here. We're still not going to attack. We've got some cards that we can bounce their creatures back into his hand or phase them, which means they're basically not there for that turn. They can't attack and block. I don't have any negate spells right now. This guy's starting to be a problem. Bounce him back to his hand, and we'll take 4. Okay, we have 6 cards. Flow of Knowledge costs 5. Let's get, so we'll have should get 7 cards back into my hand. I don't know why he's stalling on this. He doesn't really have anything, I think, that can negate cards. It's not, like I said, it's more of a blue and black thing. Green is, you're right. So I have to discard 2. Island, island. And I have 2 left, so let's see, we've got counter target creature. Let's bring him out also. And that's going to leave us 1 to either counter non-creature target creature spell, or we're going to bounce someone back or phase. I like to keep my hand from lands and then to the lowest mana cost to the highest mana cost. Non-creature spell. Wish we had a creature spell. So we'll probably use our Fading Hope. And again, he didn't want to attack because he's afraid of what we might have going on. So see, we have 13 instances and sorceries in here besides our lands. So we bring our Haughty Djinn out. Boom. 13/4 flyer. And now we're going to have to get rid of his flyer. And so we still have 4 or 5. Let's try to get more cards out here. Something hopefully to protect our Djinn. Yeah. Hopefully we can get something a little bit better. Oh my goodness. Discard 2. 1, 2, okay. And now notice he's up to 17. So every time an instant sorcery goes in, his power goes up 1. And I think we're going to attack this turn with these 2. And then we'll be able to bounce one of them. He's thinking about it. Okay. So we need to get rid of his flyer, so it can't block our flyer. Then we can do 17 to him. Can't negate that. So he's not going to attack with his flyer at least because he needs to save that to block against ours. Because we're almost lethal right now. 17 damage to 22 health. Let's look for a few more cards. Got I suppose hope for counter target creature spell. So we've got a non-creature target creature. Okay, to a one attacker. Can bounce him back to his hand. And does 19. That's fun when this works. When your hand is really working together in blue, boy, is it fun to play. Hate to play against blue that's doing this sort of stuff, but yep, that'll do it for this turn. We still have 6 mana left to be able to bounce their creatures. So target creature spell. Get rid of that dude, and ours is going to go up to 20. He might just concede here, unless he's got something up his sleeve. Remember another creature on his battlefield under your control. This guy gains death touch until end of turn. Okay, I'm not too concerned about this. As long as he doesn't have a flyer out, I don't really care how much damage he can do, as long as it's not going to kill me, because we're going to kill him easily. Okay. So unless he's got something up his sleeve. I don't think he has anything that's really going to get rid of my creatures. He might have something up his sleeve, I don't know. Oh, he has reach. Darn it. Didn't see that. Okay, he had reach and something. Must have been death touch. Okay, now there's a good example of why you need to read cards. That was a huge mistake on my part. I could have had the game right there. Because I could have phased his creature. Okay, so he has reach this time. Let's remember that. Does he have reach? No. He has death touch. And this is a flyer. So next turn we're going to have to phase out both of those. Okay, so all right. So that was a pretty long game. Fun one. At least, you know, when you're in control of the game as blue, it's a lot of fun. So let's play another one here. That was kind of long. Maybe we'll only play 2. I'm not sure. All right, got some experience and some coin. Yeah, not bad. All right, let's play another game with the standard blue, mono blue. I like to call it the Djinn deck. I don't know if other people do that or not. But you could see there, that was a good example of how to play this blue deck. You build up your graveyard with sorcerers and instants. You hold on to your creatures for a while at the beginning and just kind of negate their stuff and bounce their hands. And then you bring out your killer monsters later in the game. I think I'm going to keep this just because we have some things we can bounce their creatures early on, counter stuff, counter non-creature spells, and we can look into our hand, and we've got a Tolarian Terror to bring out somewhat mid-game as a blocker until our Djinns show up in hand and have developed into a massive creature. So blue, black, blue, black. Search engine. I don't want to play this yet because I want to be able to have enough mana to pay my Fading Hopes. Should this guy decide to attack next turn, I'm going to bounce them back to their hand. Okay, not much I can do about that guy. And they're not attacking yet, so... So I could play this to look for some more cards because I think I need something, but I'm going to hold off. I need some lands. I'm going to hold off in case I need to play this non-creature spell or bounce a creature. Upkeep, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So again, in this deck, we don't have anything that really gets rid of enchantments. 1 damage, I'm not going to worry about that. Remember, life is a resource. You can use that all the way down to 1 point. If you have, doesn't matter if you have 20 or 1 life left, if you win the game, you win the game. Put that in my hand, that in the graveyard, and that into the library. Let's get rid of 1 Fading Hope here. I'm hoping that I get more land so that I can start bringing out these Tolarian Terrors. But also discarding that last one did put another card, instant sorcery card, into my graveyard. So now we're down to a 3-banger for Tolarian Terror. Let's bring him out, start bringing him in as a blocker. That did use up all of my mana for this turn, so hopefully he doesn't bring out anything too crazy, because I can't bounce it and I can't negate anything. If he should attack with these creatures, I don't have the mana to bounce it, but I wanted to get a blocker out there at least. Buys a little time until we get another land card. Wait. Yeah, this one isn't going quite as well for us. So at least if I bring out another Tolarian Terror, I still have enough to bounce one of the third creatures back, but he has 2 flyers. So we can do a total of 5 damage there. Oh, no, he can't be blocked. Okay, so that's not good. We're probably almost dead here. Let's see, 2, 5, 8. Yeah, almost. Hate playing against black. They are so sneaky. So this is going to be game here. He's basically got enough to kill me. I switched that out so when we scryed, get to look at the top card. It was a land. Don't want the land. I need some more negate spells or bounce spells or something. And that's not going to help. Let's draw a card for every land that I own. Hopefully we can get something out here that'll work. Let's get rid of that land. That moment of truth, because we're in crisis mode now. Yeah. Let's go and attack with all of them. Give them a good game. And I'm going to concede this because he has won. There was one other way I could go at least another turn, but I didn't see anything happening that was really going to change the outcome of this game. And I think we'll play one more. What the heck? One more with the mono blue tempo, the Djinn deck as I call it. So the first game, it went perfectly. Everything went right. Second game, we weren't getting the cards that we needed really, and we're kind of getting a little stymied on the land. So let's see, we got another 1/1/1. Again, I'm gonna go with this because I have stuff I can bring in cards, I can bounce creatures, I can target or counter a creature spell on my second turn, and I have the ability to draw cards later on. So all in all, this isn't a bad hand to have for mono blue. We can pull cards into our hand. We can, bounce creatures if we have to, and it buys us a little time. Okay, that's a better card. So we're going to target that creature spell. He goes into their graveyard. We get an instant put into our graveyard. So we have 3 in our hand, which means, or in our graveyard, which means when we do get a Djinn, as of right now, he's going to be a 3/4. Okay, let's look for more cards. Since he doesn't have anything in his hand or on the board that's really going to hurt us at the moment. XX until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures he controls. So I'm not too worried about that right now. Put the island out. Let's hold off on throwing out our Djinn yet because if we put him out, we're not going to have enough to counter anything that they try to do to our Djinn. Although this is a white-green deck, they don't really have as many things to remove creatures with. So let's stick with that for right now. And if he does try to do something that would counter or remove our Djinn, next turn we would be able to do a counter non-creature spell. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're not going to play any other cards at the moment. because we have 4 mana, we have enough to counter spells to protect our Djinn. And if he would have a creature that could block, we could bounce it back into their hand. So there we go. We protected our Djinn right there. So that was the good play. That was the play to make right there. That was good. Counter target creature. So we're limiting what they can do right now, which is great. We'll take the 2, no problem. Okay, so we have 4 lands. I don't want to play any of these yet because I want to be able to bounce a creature. Well, this is a tricky one because if it tries to bring something out that's going to destroy my creature, I don't have any spells that would counter that. So if I do play Flow of Knowledge, I guess we wouldn't have the mana to do anything anyway, but let's go with that anyway, just because we need some counter spells. Get rid of the 2 Fading Hopes because we already have 2 in there. And that also beefed up our Djinn. And let's play the Tolarian Terror just because he's already attacked, so I don't have to worry about him blocking my Djinn or attacking me for a massive amount of damage, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, and that's a win. They did a total of 2 damage to us, and we did a total of 14 to them. Protected our creatures, limited the creatures that they could bring out onto the board. All in all, that was a very effective way to play the mono blue tempo. All right, so gonna end the video here. I appreciate you guys watching till the end. Like and subscribe if you feel like you want to. I'd appreciate it. At least like it for me. That'd be great. Subscribe if you want to be notified when I put out more videos. And I think very soon I'm going to be putting out a couple of videos on how to do net decking, which means being able to go online, look at lists of decks, import them, and then make them your own if you have enough wildcards, which I'll explain all that. And also, I'm going to be getting some new packs here, probably the latest set, and going to crack some packs for you guys to watch, and we'll price out the rares that we get, and hopefully get something good. So, again, thanks for watching. This is Matt the Rat. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.